We were talking about earlier before we start rolling is what do you do in a situation if you're stuck in life and you don't know what that next step is? Well, for me, I just feel like the last 3 weeks, and I told you like something with my knees, like all of a sudden I did something where it got inflamed and swelled up. So I'm like, is that a sign for me energetically? My body saying you need to slow down, but then I'm not doing anything that's fast paced. I like to pace myself, as you know, slow and steady wins the race, as they say. So not sure where it came from because it wasn't an injury or anything like that. So I'm looking deeper into it. It's feeling better lately, but why did that come up when it came up?
Yeah.
And why am I stuck in thinking is like, okay, do I need to take a step back to move forward again and analyze and see what's going on, or is just random? But again, there's nothing random, right? There's no such thing as coincidence.
It's still going on a little bit, the pain in the
Yeah,
left.
yeah.
I don't know if sometimes I'll do this when if I'll have pain in like my left versus my right elbow or vice versa. They'll say like it might sound crazy obviously, but it might sound like the left is correlated with the feminine, the right's correlated with
That's
the
right. Yeah,
masculine.
I've heard that too.
I kind of noticed that where, if there's some sort of, even if you Google, there's different, they'll say like, obviously what's the purpose of the knees? The knees are kind of about connecting to the earth.
Yeah, connecting, grounding.
Grounding stability.
So the left was the feminine, you said?
So
maybe something I need to connect with, feminine energy that I've been putting aside or not paying attention to?
I think so. I'm either, again, who knows, but it could be internal, like internal feminine, or external. It's usually internal, external is the same.
Lately, I've been looking things as internal, not external, because external is not just your surrounding reality, but it's also collective, right? So it's two ways. Like I have my life, my reality, personal reality, and you have your life, your personal reality. But now here we are, coexisting in the same space,
Absolutely.
right? So
External almost takes the power away too, right? Internally.
I think the external is a manifestation of how we feel inside. It just plays out in reality, and not too many people recognize that they think what happens in the outside reflects what happens in the inside when it's the other way around. You're projecting your internal feelings. So you're going to experience that in the real world.
I had a really cool Uber driver recently where I was like in a little bit of a down state. I was at shops at Don Mills, and I was looking at the Ubers, and for some reason I was thinking, should I bus? It's like, I'll save money, but I don't feel like it. And instead of picking like the regular one, I just felt like picking the one that was usually, you know how you could pick like an Uber to come now or in 3 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever?
Yeah, I've seen that.
I just picked now. I usually never don't. I had a good feeling. I got in there, and the guy was like a super spiritual kind of guy, driving a Tesla, talking about Think and Grow Rich and all these things.
Nice book.
I'm like, you know what? I don't ever pick the Uber that's like $2 more, but I felt like it for a reason. I think one of the lessons that the guy was saying that stuck with me from then was what you resist persists.
Persists, exactly.
And that's something you talk about.
It's true. It's true. Let's just say you didn't act up on your intuition and you picked another Uber driver. This is where another reality would have played out and you wouldn't experience what you experience. So any given time and day, we have this choice of, you want to call it free will, to either go with what's presented, the options. I think last time we talked about opportunities and how to know if there's an opportunity, and if you're ready, it'll show up. So you had a choice. You either to go with this Uber driver or another Uber driver, and you would have had a completely different conversation with that person because of this choice you made.
Absolutely.
Right? It's like branching off to this separate choice that you made, but at the same time, it's a pathway leading to somewhere else.
It's unbelievable. It's almost like when you think, and this is what I was saying earlier, you think about, yes, you want to let go, surrender, surrender to the will of God, whatever happens, happens. But at the same time, sometimes you look back and you think like, damn, why didn't, when you know like this is what you're supposed to do and you don't do what you're supposed to do, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. You know, it's as long as you learn from it, I guess. But
For sure. That up to me part is that one step that's sometimes we're too afraid to make is like you need to take action. You can ask for the cake, the dessert, it'll show up, but you need to eat it. It's like the opportunity shows up sometimes, but again, that doubt and the fear, the egoic mind saying, "Hey, hold on a minute, this is unfamiliar. We haven't gone down this path, right?" But again, what your instinct said, let me go down this path. Let me choose this person. And you just had this wonderful experience. So,
question for you. So when you're ready, it will come. How does someone get ready? How do you even know what getting ready
good question. And
constitutes?
in my personal experience, it's always been making room. So when I say letting go, let go of what happened in the past, right? It doesn't make sense. And I don't know why people still hold on to anger, hate, resentment. And I don't know where I heard this, but it's like saying holding on to anger, or if you want to seek revenge against your enemy, it's like holding on to burning stones in your hand and just waiting for the opportunity to throw.
Just burns you.
It just burns you, right? What's done is done. Like I know sometimes it's very depending on the level of what it was that affected you. You need to let go. That weight will weigh you down. So going back to what you're saying, as soon as you start making room, letting go of the past, new opportunities will start making their way because they're right there. They're in front of your door, waiting to come in. But you have so much junk inside your room or inside your house, no room for it to exist. So how can something exist or come into your existence if you don't have room?
Exactly.
So you have to clear it out, right? Declutter. You need to have this mindset of like, I will accept this for now, take it as far as I can take it, and then let go of that now. And then let new experience come in.
That's probably the most important, subtle, but challenging part. That last.
It is
let
challenging.
go.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to sit here and say it, but sometimes it's hard to do in reality, right? You need to declutter, make room.
Yeah. I feel like if you're stuck on something in the past, oh, I should have done this, and that's what you're thinking in the present, that also becomes your future. Rather than maybe just saying, I accept, oh, I enjoyed this, really good, cool, let it go, then it's more likely to come back. Because our desires aren't even our own, right? Our desires come from God, so they'll come back in other ways.
And another way to put it is as you get older, your problems should get smaller because now you've gone through the experience. Whereas before it's like, oh my God, like, what is this? I can't handle it. It's too much. It's that pressure that's going to shape you, right? It either breaks you or shapes you, right? So you take into a new form. We're like, oh yeah, I've dealt with this before. Yeah. I've dealt with this client before, or I've gone through this scenario before. It's no big deal.
It's all the tribulations, all the trials. It's just to formulate your character almost, right? Like
100%. It's like going to the gym, right? It's very difficult the first month. You're going to be sore. You're going to be in pain. So why are you doing it? Because you know it's going to benefit you. You're going to build strength. So you do it for a reason, right? You want to get stronger. So in order to develop a stronger character, you also need to feel the pressure.
I think 2 questions.
Yeah.
I'll start with one of them. I'll say both of them. So obviously you have to be able to endure and go through these tribulations. You also have to let go of things. The second part is, how does one figure out what's that thing that's actually worth going through all of this? You know, like how does someone find that chief definite purpose that makes them say, through hell or high water, through whatever I have to let go, I care about this so much that by pursuing it, I actually become a better person because I go through these hardships, I mold my character. And then the second thing is kind of, how does someone reaffirm those positive thoughts to themselves? Because maybe sometimes you're thinking, I got to go through, but maybe sometimes you're thinking, this is too much. Like how does, catching yourself and knowing where to go?
I can only speak from experience by saying, having 2 kids, I mean, you'll do anything for them, right? At the end of the day, it's like, no, I need to show up for them. So to answer your question, it's like, how do you know like how much like is it worth it, or do you even go through like for what, like what is it that it's the end result of all this? It's like it's the unconditional love that you have for them, right? You can't trade places with that. So you'll do what you need to do. If you need to work, you'll work. If you need to provide them, you have to provide for them. If you need to be a role model, you need to drive them to places and just give them the life experience. You'll do it, and you'll do it from out of a place of love. And I think it ends up being down to that. Like, what do you love to do for, and for not for whom, but what is it that at the end of the day helps you sleep better, and you know you did the right thing. So if you can align with that, I think any struggles that you go through, you know, at the end is just, it's going to be temporary. It's going to be in the past. It's no longer going to be reoccurring, because, like I said, the more you go through that experience, the smaller the problem gets, if it's a problem or an issue.
Timeless wisdom.
Yes.
Why do some people choose love? Why do some people choose fear over love? Why do some choose love over fear? They're kind of
Comes down to the programming and the comfort level, right? Even though they love something, but fear is holding them back. I talked about this last time. It's like they're on a sinking ship, but they don't see the rescue boat. To them, it's like if they jump in the water while the ship is still sinking, they might fall into hands of the sharks and get eaten. To just create this scenario in their head, where you always have to see a way. That's the only way to get out of a situation. Even though you don't experience it, it'll show up. It's weird. It'll show up for some reason, because now you're doing it for out of love and not fear. Fear is just going to anchor you, and you're just going to sink, right? You need to get past that. And by getting past that, I mean you have to face your fears. I'll give you a quick example. For a few years, I was get rid of the weeds that show up every spring, the dandelions in my backyard. And I had to do it, because if I went 1 week without doing them, I'd come back a week later, they're all over my backyard. So I have to address the issue in that moment. So fear is the same way. It's like you turn your back, it's just going to catch up. Like, there's no running away from it.
the moment that you just made the decision to say,
Yeah.
yes, I feel the fear. I'm going to move forward.
Forward.
In spite of that,
Yeah.
you actually got the abilities, the tools that you realize. Oh,
And
I
it made me stronger. It made me a better person. I came out of my shell. I wasn't shy anymore. I always put myself in a situation, oh, what if they were thinking this if I said this or did that? And I had to get rid of the what if, and just deal with what it is and take it step by step, and then move forward with it.
If there's two things that constitute growth, it's facing the fears and even with pains. If you're at the gym, you feel pain or you feel the emotional pain, whatever. You can just sit with it and be still, or fear, move past it. Definitely going to constitute growth. So I guess should someone seek that? Should someone actively structure their life to have those things hitting them?
Well, how bad do you want it is the question. Like, if fear is getting in the way of what you want, how bad do you want it? You have to give it all.
100%. And then once you give it all, I think that's part of the key.
Yeah, the illusion of the fear starts dissipating.
It's gone.
It's gone. It's like no longer there.
It was never.
And it was
really
always
there.
in your head.
Always. It's almost a good sign when you feel fear. When you feel a little fear, you're like, okay, I'm probably doing something right.
So I put myself in situations where I feel uncomfortable. So now I'm getting used to being comfortable and being uncomfortable. So I'm always pushing a little bit, stretching, right?
It's the happy medium between too challenging and not challenging enough. If you're at the gym, you do way too much weight, you get injured, you're out for 3 weeks. But you do just enough. Where you're always in that, and if we can do that in life as well.
And then, but when you're doing that, you're actually expanding your field. Now that I've gone through this experience, whatever comes up, I've dealt with, right? There's another way of looking at it. So sometimes we make our decisions based on past experiences. I'm going to wake up every day. It's a new day, fresh start. So I'm welcoming the universe opportunities to come my way. And it's up to me how I navigate through that experience.
We have that free will. I'm just looking back. I've got to be in the present right now, but it's like so many dots connect. Conversations like this, I'm realizing, Universe is so good. God's so good. We get these opportunities almost every day.
E- Every day.
You could mess up. You could be like the biggest reject. Like you wake up,
It's a new start, new
rise
day.
and shine,
Yeah,
right?
rise and shine, right?
There's a new opportunity. You know, you pray for the repentance. You try to figure out what did I do wrong, but then a new opportunity arises. But if you're stuck in the past, you won't see that opportunity, and it's always there. And I guess if as long as we learn from the past, we'll get whatever
And
we're
that's why
destined.
it's called the present. It's actually it's a gift, and once you realize and have a understanding about being in the present moment, you're open. You're not holding yourself back. You're not closed minded. It's like I'm ready. I'm in this moment. Like I'm present. It's a gift. I'm experiencing it.
It's so true because you're not seeing things for what it was or what it could be. You're just seeing it for what it is right
Yeah.
now, and it's just honest. Pain could be a good thing if you mess something, you lose something, or you had a good business opportunity, lost it. Like that's good enough to say, okay, let me that you know how sometimes you have motivation to face fears or pain. If you've faced enough pains, you're kind of just like, okay, I'd rather not face that again. I'd rather take this short-term fear, short-term pain than the long-term.
The more you delay it, the heavier it's gonna like weigh you down. Like it's gonna
So
get
true.
bigger.
Yeah, hesitation.
Yeah, yeah. I like what you said earlier. You followed your instinct. Always follow your instinct, because if you don't, it's a lesson. If you take option B, it's a lesson.
Instinct's always right.
100%. And then now, knowing that, I can pass that on to my kids. Knowing like trust your instincts. It's there for a reason.
Literally, it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
I think even sometimes if you get to really like a focused state, a very meditative state, and you understand the same truths keep arising. It's like a few things that this is exactly what I need to be doing. And sometimes if it's good to play relaxed, but I feel like if we play too relaxed and we let go of our best efforts a little too much, then we start to end up at a painful place where we realize, oh, I was just go back to what you're supposed to do. And
Yeah.
I guess that discipline, what about this? Discipline's such a important topic in the sense of when you know what you have to do and you just execute it.
Discipline
Focus.
is key. If you want to be successful to whatever it is that you have in your mind, what success looks like for you, it's different for everyone, depending on your age, and situation. But discipline is the key, and being consistent as well.
Yeah, agreed. I have a tendency to lack consistency 100%. Need more focus, more blinders sometimes. I think you could train that though. I think if you just tell yourself, might sound crazy, but hey, look at this spot on the wall for X amount of time and then increase that, or close your eyes, meditate, or do exactly this task. And as long as you're conscious of, I'm doing this and I have to do it for 40, you can build it like a muscle.
For sure. It's like the cold plunge, right? The ice water.
Yeah.
You do the first time is like hell,
Terrible.
right?
Yeah, terrible.
But the longer you stay in it, the more you do it, you discipline yourself, right? Again, you don't want to overdo it the first time because you're prone to injuries. Same going to the gym, right? You don't want to overdo it because sometimes we get overly excited. We're like, oh, I can do this, but pace yourself. And then first time if it's like 5 seconds, you're out. Then push it to 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And next thing you know, you're in there for 3 minutes. And if you look back, you're like, all right, I made some progress.
I went to, are you familiar with Othership?
No.
It's like a sauna cold plunge place. I'm really good with heat. So I'm in
Yeah.
there. People are leaving the room for the heat. I'm feeling like the champ. I feel like I understand everything about life. And then we hop in the cold plunge and you have these like 100-pound girls there for like 60 seconds. I'm there for 10 seconds looking around like, holy shit, this is insane. The cold will teach you a lot about yourself. It's
No, for sure.
Yeah.
And
it's probably ingrained in the body.
and this is why if you train your mind, the rest will follow, right? They've done a test on this. So your body doesn't know the difference if it exists in the past, the present, or in the future. It doesn't. I mean, I don't know if you've experienced this when you're falling asleep and you have a dream that you're falling off the cliff or something and your body reacts to it, right? That's your body thinking it's actually happening to you. So energetically, whatever fear you experience, you held on to, your body's still holding on to that. So you also have to release that from your body as well.
There's probably a lot of different exercises, even just being generally active. Your body can kind of reorient itself how it's supposed
Yeah.
to through a lot of
And
different
then
movements.
rest is very important too.
Oh,
Uh,
sure.
I mean, I like to get anywhere between 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but good sleep. I think 13 is a lucky number. I, I always question like when people say, "Oh, it's unlucky." Like, why is it unlucky? Now, how can a number be unlucky? Doesn't make sense.
It's a good question.
It's usually whoever's saying it's an unlucky number. It's like maybe they're using it and it's lucky for them, so they don't want anyone else to.
What about triple sixes?
I don't know who makes this stuff up.
Triple six in the Bible. 13. I don't know. That's who knows.
But
That's
then Nikola Tesla, he was the one that talked about the 369 and different on the triangle. You have the 3 and you have the 6 and 9 in different positions.
I'll plead the fifth on this one. I don't know, but I'm just gonna be cautious. Actually, I won't be cautious tomorrow. I'll do whatever I was gonna do anyways. Won't let a date stop me.
I mean, if you're born on the 13th, are you unlucky? Then why are you even born? I don't think God operates that way. God is not going to say, I'm going to make you unlucky. You're going to be born on this date. And then I don't know how often that Friday the 13th comes along, it's going to be an unlucky experience for you.
It's a good point.
Right?
It's honestly.
Let's just put it this way. Let's just say it was unlucky for that one person and something very terrible happened to them on that date. And then they look back and said, man, I think it was this date, this number 13, it ruined my life. And from that point on, it's like, kept telling people, maybe it was a king or someone in the past that,
I want to search it up.
right?
You want to find out what the origin is?
Sure. Apparently we used to have 13 months and 28 days in each month. And that was changed.
We used to have 28 days.
Yeah, so it used to be 28 days and 13 months.
They say that they arrested the Knights Templar
Oh, yeah.
on Friday,
They had
October
to do
13th.
something with that, yeah.
Something they also said 13 was because Judas was like the 13th. It happens at least once every year, but can be up to 3 times in the same year. Knights
So
Templar.
we used to have 13 months, 28 days. I think back in the 1700s, it changed for some reason. And if you think about it, September, October, November. Sept is 7. October is 8. Right? November,
Yeah.
9.
Uh-huh.
And Tech, December is Tech, which is 10. I think it's in Latin. And then we have January, February, 11, 12. March was the 13th month. And this is why New Year, like the Persian New Year, it comes on and it's in spring. So I think it ties into that somehow.
I just saw, I was like, in Italy, it's like the 17th. In Greece, it's a Tuesday, not a Friday, the 13th. So everyone's got their own.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's more North American than anything.
You know what I think, though? If you make your decisions with good intentions, you'll be good.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah. How do you feel? Like, how do you feel when you're doing what you're doing? Because it's going to determine how successful you're going to be. I want to talk about having a new, fresh perspective on waking up every day. I think we kind of mentioned like how you treat your day when you wake up. You wake up tomorrow and say, I'm already in heaven. And you don't look back because you forgave whatever happened to you and you just put it behind you, whatever experience you had. And you treat every day as if you're in heaven. And you kept doing it every day for the next 2-3 weeks. I wonder what you would experience, because now you're choosing to see good in everything.
Live gratefully, humbly, everything good.
So why wait to die to go to heaven when you can start experiencing that now? And what if just going to heaven or hell it's a mindset and what you choose to see? So if I choose to see heaven when I wake up, then my focuses are going to be on things that align with what heaven would feel like. Right? Think about it. You're going to appreciate nature, right? You're going to look at animals differently. You're going to look at relationships differently, your family differently, right? Whatever. I mean, we all go through stuff, even with family and coworkers, but you put all that behind you, you're going to have a whole new attitude about life. And if everybody did this and just forgave each other and put all this behind them and just said, today I'm in heaven and I'm experiencing heaven with Alex, right?
Appreciate it with Serge. There you go.
There you go. And then you woke up, you did the same thing to someone else, like another family member of yours.
The key, it's if there was a doorway, it's got to be in the heart,
100%.
right? I mean, even if I'll give a slight example. I'm thinking, why didn't XYZ, let's say from today, go as it could have, or yesterday? And then if I come from a place of the heart, I realize, well, if everything, the universe is just, I feel like that's a fundamental belief people need to instill, because then you realize, well, if you don't have something that you wanted, it's probably because you weren't ready.
The timing, yeah.
Maybe the timing wasn't ready. It was a good story with yesterday in Orthodox tradition was the day for John the Baptist. Jesus said, no man born of woman is greater than John the Baptist. Basically saying, besides himself, he's the greatest to ever live, in his words.
Mm-hmm.
His parents were very pious people who were praying for a baby for their whole lives. They never got one until their late 90s, but they always stayed devoted. And then the angel that came to them basically said, it wasn't you guys, it was the timing, because this baby had to be born before the Messiah. That's why we wanted you to wait. So It's like sometimes better things are ahead.
No, for sure, for sure. And this is why it's very important to stay on track of what it is that you want out of life, and not to distract yourself with, with other things, and then have doubt and fear sneak in there, because there's no room for that. A lot of times people set goals and they want certain things to happen a certain date, and it doesn't happen, and they give up. I'm like, just because you wanted it to happen next week, what if what you wanted takes 2 weeks? Like, for example, I'm sure you've cooked or baked. You can't rush that process, right? Your cake is not going to taste good when you're trying to speed up the temperature of the process of baking. It takes a while for the cake to rise, and when it does, and you have to leave it for a few more minutes before you open the oven, and then when the time is ready, you have this perfect cake. So if you've rushed the process, or you said, no, I want it within 10 minutes, there's a reason why it's going to take as long as it's going to take, because there's moving parts, there's other elements involved.
You could be like that 3 feet from gold story,
Oh, yeah. I've seen the drawing of that. Same with, why 9 months for a baby to develop before it comes into this world. There's a reason for that.
Yeah. What about also, though, the subtlety of seizing the right opportunity? For example, when the cake's in there, you can't just leave it and be like, I'll get it out eventually. There's also a moment where it's like, now's the time. And that is almost takes courage. So it's like having the patience to wait and the courage, and you want to align yourself properly where it's like you're not all over the place, so you could actually be in the present and see the opportunity and feel the opportunity, knowing like you don't even think, it just happens by itself. You just know this is the opportunity. And it shouldn't be a lot of foresight. It shouldn't be a lot of overthinking, like we're saying, not a lot of hesitation.
Yeah, I mean, I've witnessed a lot of relationships like that too. Even my relationship, it didn't go too well in the beginning. And maybe that's because the timing wasn't right in the beginning, but then it worked out, right? So sure, at the moment I was like questioning things, and I was like doubting myself, like, is it me? Like, what is it, something I said? But I didn't hold on to that. I let go. I said, well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and I'll just let it go. And sure enough, I think it was like a year later it came around.
Yeah, I have a close friend like that, similar thing, where it just sometimes it's the timing. Um, Even with work, like you were always preaching this to me and my brother, rightfully, where it's like we want everything, we want this, everything,
Yeah.
everything. But if everything comes, maybe you fumble it.
You start a business and you're excited and you want to hit that level of success within the first year. When you don't really, let's just say you're able to land 100 accounts. You're understaffed. You don't have the staff. You don't have the right space, office, furniture, equipment, and there's no one there to fulfill the business needs. Your clients are going to be very unhappy because they trusted you by because of the promise you made. Even for this place here, it was completely bare and empty. And slowly, I started building the set. I reinvested into the business, and I made sure you had a solid foundation. Where it's like, okay, like I can navigate the ship now.
Relationship similar, right? You want to invest in a solid foundation earlier.
First, yeah,
Things that will last.
yeah. What is this based on? This relationship? Is it short term, long term? How do you see yourself in the future? Business, relationships, personal stuff. I think you need to have a clear vision, and if it feels right, it feels right. If it doesn't, again, trust your gut feeling because it's just going to be a lesson. Sometimes it's a hard lesson.
The right road, it's always available though, over time. Like
100%.
could fail a million times. You can never really fail. You
I
give it
don't
your
know.
best.
I don't know who said it, but they said success is one failure away or something like that.
So true.
Right.
The more you fail and fail fast,
The more you fail, the more you succeed, but closer you are to success. I don't know who said it.
it's awesome.
Someone said it.
It's so true though.
Yeah.
It's always like that, right? Sometimes you have like a big, massive failure, and then on the other end, even better opportunity. One door closes, another opens. It sounds cliche, but once you see it actually happen in
No,
life,
for sure.
it's
That's the thing.
crazy.
You have to
It's
go
how it
through the
works.
experience to acknowledge it and say, "Oh, okay, now I get it."
I feel like you get what you deserve, and you get what you feel like you deserve. And if you only feel like you deserve this much, you'll only put in this much effort. But
That's true.
if you feel
That's
deserving of
true.
this, you'll probably put in extra effort.
That comes back to saying like the level of awareness you have, you're operating from that level. So this is why I said earlier, get comfortable in being uncomfortable, because only expansion comes with being uncomfortable. You're challenging yourself. You're going to territories you haven't been before. So of course, there's gonna be challenges to face.
I can physiologically, I could feel having these convos. I could feel when like you're in the heart space, versus a different kind of space.
No, 100%. Your beliefs take you so far. It's like having training wheels. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to let go of the training wheels, and it's just become your being. You're one with the bike. You're just riding it. You're not thinking about it anymore. If you want to evolve in a way where it's like, okay, I've done this enough times, where it's like I don't have to think about it anymore. I'm flowing with this.
It's not even everything just goes seamlessly. You don't have to stop step one and step two.
Exactly.
It's just one thing.
It's like riding a bike.
I think even the best jump shooters, like basketball, there's like 25 little steps, left foot here, elbow here.
Yeah.
But once it looks good,
Once you have the formula down pat,
beautiful. It looks beautiful.
step and repeat.
Even, yeah, there's probably everything just has a process, eh?
For sure.
You just pick what process you want to excel in,
Yeah.
nail it.
Even driving, sometimes you show up at your location like, I wasn't even thinking it. I just arrived.
You know what? You know how sometimes people are like, and I enjoy a long drive sometimes to clear your mind. I feel like that's probably because when things are just not going right, at least when you're driving, there's on some level, you have that feeling of my subconscious, I'm doing something right. I'm following a process. It's executing. It gets you into the flow state.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of see things from a different perspective there. You ever think, what about this? You ever think about how often can you wake up and say, I really gave 100, like really 100% of my effort. I did my best to stay maximally in the zone. I said no to distraction. I said no to negative self-talk. All I said yes to was this is what I needed to accomplish, and I'm trying my best. And I know why I'm. The other thing is when you know why you're doing it, like you have your why, you have your kids, you have
Mm-hmm.
your goals you want to reach. You ever have some days like that where you're just like, wow, that was an awesome day. I feel like we should just. I feel like we're not stacking on as many of those as we can. You know?
I think they come in waves. I mean,
Yes.
in my experience, and just like the seasons, right? You can go through winter. It's going to be dark. It's going to be cold, but you know spring is around the corner, right? And if you can go with that flow of the changes and know that you're going to come out on the other side a better person, you just have to go through this experience. It's like, why go on a roller coaster ride? Right? You know it's going to be scary in certain points, but you still go on it. I think life's the same way. We signed up for this knowing it's going to be some days it's going to be easy, some days it's going to be hard. But again, if you have the wider, bigger perspective and looking at it from a place where it's like whatever comes my way, it's there to shape me and not break me, then I think you have a better outlook.
What a great, like, again, if you could summarize a few fundamental beliefs, like you got like 10 beliefs you want to pass on to your children, someone you care about.
Mm,
That's one, right? Really, to just think that that God is a loving God, universe is a loving thing that's looking out for my best interest.
100%. If you have that mindset, then you know you're stepping in the right direction, regardless if it feels scary in the beginning. Just keep going. It'll get easier.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because I think we both came, loving parents did the
Yeah,
best they
yeah.
could. I think, imagine some people that, like, that's where you see some people that are, let's say, tweaking out on the street. You don't know. Maybe they had can you imagine being 5, 6 years old and you have a parent that like lies to you, tricks you, doesn't care about you?
Hmm.
Those people develop like really ingrained cynical views of
Of
life, which
life,
is
yeah.
really sad. And
It goes back certain generations, like the trauma that your ancestors went through,
that's true.
right? I mean, we can go even deeper.
Yeah.
What did our ancestors have to go through for us to, for me and you to exist today? I'm sure they went through much harder times than we
Yeah.
did,
Pales
right?
like your ancestors went through a genocide. It pales in comparison to waking up at 6 in the morning and working.
And complaining about, oh, it's
Complain.
too cold outside. They had other problems to think about, right?
We
It's
have
like,
enough.
do I survive? How do I survive? I'm like, my enemy's at my front door.
It's crazy because we developed all these like crazy survival instincts and things that were meant for then, but now it's like they're not as necessary
Yeah.
in the modern world.
So
So we need to
going back to
retrain
what
them.
you're saying, they had all the good intentions and they can only operate from that level of what they know. And unfortunately, they're in fight or flight. So you can't get far in life when you're fight and flight because you're just going to exhaust yourself. They didn't have that time to where like said, okay, now I feel safe. I feel safe. Now I can grow from this experience. I think it was just fight or flight. And then that was passed down to, their kids and then their kids and to a point where it's like, I'm doing this because I came to a realization. It's like, hold on. I'm partially taking on this trauma that my ancestors went through. At the same time, I can't say, well, that was a bad event, what happened, because I wouldn't exist. If that didn't happen, what's the guarantee that I would exist today? There's no guarantee. So it's very unfortunate, but then at the same time, I have to now realize that, okay, the trauma stops. Like with me, I don't want to pass this on to my kids because whatever was passed down to me and my parents and their parents, right? I hold that power to like say, no, that's the past. I'm not going to weigh myself down anymore. Part of me feels guilty, but then another part of me feels free because the guilty part is like, it was a bad experience. So how can I let go of that? But then for me to move forward in life and be a better example for my kids, I don't want to pass that hurt and pain to them. So that's freeing me, right? So I have to provide them a better future and learn from obviously from the pain and the experience that the ancestors went through and now say, that's it. The puck stops here.
You realize how important, I mean, in my opinion, I've met a lot of people. You're a very aware person. You try to do the best you can. You're conscious. You aware and meditative type of things, wise. It shows how important that is to cultivate because, like you're saying, you're passing it down to kids who are going to pass it on to their kids,
Yeah.
and it you influence so many people, right? Like in you might have 1,000 people in your life that you really really influence. So it's so important for us to kind of take on that responsibility with gratitude. Almost taking the baton, like thank you for
Mm.
the miracle that I'm here today. You had to go through all these saber-toothed tigers and lack of food and everything,
Yeah.
and we're here today.
Famine and
Yeah,
depression in the 20s, and yeah, I can't even wrap my head around their stress, right? And I think in the modern days, like now, we just create our own stress for no reason.
yeah,
It's weird to say, but some people need to, I guess, feel something, so they'll bring on stuff that's not necessary. Like complaining about you're stuck in traffic is nothing compared to you're running away from bullets. Let's just it's you can't compare that.
yeah.
But it's the same stress level.
Exactly, because we have the same limbic system that
Yeah,
responded to bullets that's responding to
hundred
traffic.
percent. Or an email you got and it was like bad news or something you heard. No, it's nothing compared to what our ancestors went through.
They say like public speaking is one of the biggest fears because in
Yeah.
the old days, when you would speak in front of a group, it was because the group would judge if you should stay in or be exiled or something like that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, but maybe I mean one of my fears, and I think I'm working on it. I'm great one-on-one, sitting down with someone, and maybe two, three. But if it's a larger group, that's what I need to focus on getting better. And I know I will, with time, of course, get to that place. Because version of me is already there, right? So I just have to walk into that reality. Like I think I've said this before, the probabilities of what you want and all the options are all in front of you. It's the one that you pick is what you feel strongly about. So you go down that path.
What do you say about something that flicks me sometimes? I'm curious if your perspective on this. What do you say about, okay, you have all these opportunities and you want this one, but you're almost like unsure. You look around for confirmation from like God, family, people. Like
Mm,
I can go with this one, right? Do you ever like you're older, maybe not as
yeah.
much for you, but I think, what do you think about that? Like when you see something that you want, should you not just go for it?
I mean, if it
Asking XYZ.
resonates and it feels
Yeah,
right, then go for it, of course.
agreed.
I think that the more we talk about what we're doing, the more we're holding ourselves back. Like actions speak louder than words, right? So just instead of talking about it, just take the necessary steps and pursuing what it is that you want to do. And it's very important who you tell as well. Some people
Yeah.
are jealous or don't come up with that idea, and they're like, "Oh no, I don't want Alex to."
It might not even be bad intention.
No,
It
exactly.
might be, I care about you, but what if this doesn't happen? What if this doesn't
Yeah,
happen?
but you have to understand that it's your dream, it's your vision, and
Man,
you have to pursue it yourself and not the other person.
man.
Personally, for me, if you come to me and say, if it's going to involve me, sure, obviously you have to tell that person that you see that plan moving forward with. But if it's something that you want to do, it's best to keep it to yourself.
Sometimes I just get excited. I want to share
I'm
good
the
news.
same way. I'm the same way.
You know what's funny? I was telling you, this girl, I'll just say, the girl that I met 2 weeks ago, the greatest vibes ever. Perfect. Nailed it. I told like 8 people in the last 2 weeks. Now, I'm not saying anything. But then today, didn't go as planned.
Hmm.
And now I'm just thinking, I have only myself to blame. But with business opportunities, with anything, I'm just not saying anything until
Uh,
it's done.
it happened to me, and this came from my parents. I mean, obviously, part of me, one of my dreams was to have my own studio, and here we are. But there was an opportunity that came up 10 years ago or 15 years ago, I can't remember right now, for me to share this studio space with a few other people. And they're like, no, you're not ready. It's not the right time. Are you sure this is what you want? So I ended up listening to them. And the deal never went through for whatever reason. But I was too excited about the opportunity and I went and told them. But all I kept hearing from their programming, right? And I don't blame them. It's like, oh, you don't have experience. You've never done this before. And so obviously that as a child, you listen to your parents. So that, that part of me was still there. You know, it upset me, but I was trying to be respectful too at the same time. Like I didn't want to have to disappoint them, but I ended up disappointing myself.
That doesn't help anyone. It's funny, you said something that really connected some dots where you're like, the reason we say these things is we're overly excited. Like if I'm driving and I just saw like a blue car, you know, I'm like, I don't know. If I'm talking to someone that I'm like, I don't really care, or if this opportunity is like whatever, you're kind of relaxed with it and it usually works. But when you're overly excited, maybe the best would be to like channel that energy
Yeah, exactly.
and just be calm about it. And that's probably the best way to attract things. I feel like if you get overly excited, you might repel it.
It's best to keep that excitement to yourself, because the more you start telling people, it's like you're almost giving away that, you're sharing that energy, that excitement to other people, and then you're left with nothing, because now you're like, oh, was I doing the right thing? Like I told so many people now, and I'm not even sure at this point if it is exciting.
Because now you hear 6 people be like, especially when you don't really,
Oh, you don't get a response.
yeah,
Right? And they're not excited for you.
the funniest I think that I've noticed is like when I'll half tell someone because I don't want to fully tell them because I want to protect the opportunity. Because I half tell them, it's kind of sounds underwhelming. So then everyone's like, oh, okay. And then 5 people tell you, oh, okay, you know, and then eventually, yeah, that internalizes for you, like you're saying. I'm not doing that again.
No.
I'm keeping it to the chest.
No, for sure, for sure.
Until it's executed. Now, what's different is if something in the past, like this is for something coming in the future, and the future, it's like, it's not even real yet, right? You can't even grasp it. If it's something in the past that's weighing you and you feel like you need to converse about it, then that's different. I think that's a good thing. But like an opportunity that is hardly materialized, it's still out in
It's
the
too
ether.
premature, yeah.
Yeah. You know what Nikola Tesla said? It always stuck with me. It was crazy when I think about it. He's like, when I would have an idea that would really get me like so excited, he's like, so he'd love to have typical Balkan, he'd love to have a shot of whiskey here and there. He's like, I would have to take a drink to calm myself down before the idea escaped me so I can relax and focus in on it.
It's true.
I was like,
Because that excitement can escape you and go to someone else, right?
And the excitement and nervousness, 2 sides of the same coin. It could easily flip to like nerves.
Yeah.
But then why does it get nervous? Why does it get excitement? I have an idea, something I've been thinking. I mean, some idea, but go ahead.
Add to what you were saying. If you don't act up on your excitement and you just sit with it, sooner or later that excitement is going to escape you and that idea is going to go to someone else.
Oh,
And it's happened
it's
so many times.
It's so true. You have to act.
You have to act on that
Right in
excitement.
the moment.
Right in the moment. And then and just write it down. Write down the steps.
And I think that's where overthinking sucks. We just write and go.
Yeah. Write it down and then just follow through.
Another thing I was learning recently about myself is sometimes that maybe it relates to you or everyone else, who knows, but when you've only had a baseline of this much good in your life and you start pushing the threshold and a lot of good starts coming, and then you're just like thinking, wait, where's the bad? And you start looking for the bad, then you start self-sabotaging and finding.
I was just going to mention that. Yeah. Self-sabotaging. A lot of people do that. I've noticed. Do I even deserve this?
Yeah, right.
Like, why me? And you start self-sabotaging yourself without even knowing.
All the time I start to get blessings come, I'm just like looking for like, wait, what's the catch?
Yeah, yeah.
What's wrong?
Yeah. It's too good to be true, right? So before I used to think that way, but now I'm like, no, this was meant to be. So let me just feel it and get excited about it and keep riding that wave, right?
Never again. It's like same thing every time. Isn't that funny that it's like the same? We don't change much as people. I feel like we have certain common.
I think we've come a long way because like attracts like. Right now, I want to surround myself with like-minded people that, either are doing what I'm doing or think the same way. Not only taking care of themselves, but also other people. Because it all starts with you. Like you need to be taking care of you, or else you're pouring the water, but you're not filling your own cup
You
per
got
se,
a
right?
hole in the cup.
Exactly. So if I need to show up, I need to be the best version of me.
Yeah.
to not just for my family or my kids, but everyone else in my life. You're no good to anyone if you're just stressed out, overworked and unhealthy.
Yeah.
So for you to move and be, healthy, you just need to take care of yourself.
That's so spot on. I'm not even gonna think. Just in all honesty,
Yeah.
that's the absolute truth. Because
In all sense, like mind, body, soul, everything.
it sounds, this is a negative connotation. I'm not saying to be selfish, but sometimes you have to be a little, because it's like, if you're, if you're only giving half of yourself to the people you love, you're not giving everything you can. But you gotta
No,
take
you're
care of
not being
yourself. And
selfish or self-centered. It's taking care of yourself for the benefit of other people. I don't think it's being selfish. It's a win-win for not just you, but also for the people in your life. And I know what I've been through. What can I? And I know I've been past that. It's behind me. How can I show up and make your life better, right? So then you ease the pain of struggle. I won't do the work for you because
yeah.
you still have to do the work yourself, but I'll coach you through, right? And or just let you know, like, hey, don't worry, it's okay, it's temporary. I've been there, I've gone through the experience. Now, how you deal with that struggle is up to you. Do you want to prolong it, take that helping hand and say, yeah, someone's here to support me and help me? And I'm also open to that as well, right? Being aware and realizing that in order for you to understand life and everything else in life, you have to have an open mind. I thought about this the other day. When you go through the good, the bad, and the ugly, you see the beauty,
Yeah. It's
right?
very eloquent.
Because beauty shows up after ugly. So the good, we all go through good experiences. The bad, we've all had bad days, but sometimes it gets really ugly. But then once you go through that, all three experiences, there's another level. It's like I see the beauty in everything, even the bad. Because if I didn't go through the bad, I would never know the good. If I didn't go through the good and the ugly, there's nothing to compare. So who am I to judge someone that's only operating from a level of what experience they've had from their life? That's who they become because of X, Y, and Z, and what trauma or whatever it is that they experience in their life.
Not to go conspiracy theory esoteric on this, but the 369 thing we're thinking.
Yeah.
What if like 3 is the positive or the good, 6 is the negative or the bad, 9 the acceptance of both, creates a shape. But if you have 3 sixes, now you create this portal, just all bad. Whereas if it's 2, it's okay. 1, it's okay, etc.
For me, 8 has always been my lucky number, and I've told you, like, it shows up in my life. It's like breadcrumbs letting me know that I'm on the right path. It'll show up at a bus stop, airport, someone wearing a hat with the number 8 behind it, the day I was born. And an 8 is infinity. So if we're going through this life experience, or what you think we're experiencing, and we're supposed to come out on the other side as a better person because now we're going through this experience to learn and better ourselves, right? Maybe this is like the baseline reality where we start from the bottom and we work ourselves to point of like enlightenment.
That's when you just escape the matrix.
The matrix, yeah.
I read it somewhere, but it makes sense. Okay, you achieve this level, and then you just go seclude yourself in a mountain. There's always going to be a part that's not satisfied, because the point is, well, we're still here. Then you can, once you reach that state, you come back down from the heart, help people, get a joy from that. And then, I mean, in that process, there's going to be times and then you're down and then someone helps you up, but as long as you stay here.
No, for sure. I mean, don't forget, we're always exchanging energy, right? So if I'm putting love and excitement into this talk right now today, and from your side, you're only taking it in but not exchanging it, I'm going to be depleted. This is going to end maybe in 10, 15 minutes because I'm like, it's only one-sided. So people need to understand that when you start exchanging the energy, not with the person just in front of you, but if you're in a meeting or in a room or an event, you're giving that exchange, like you're giving that energy, but it's also coming back to you because you're surrounded in a place where, like I said again, like I want to surround myself with like-minded, positive individuals because I know they're gonna give the same back to me.
It's everyone lifting everyone up.
100%.
One
And if
another.
we all did this, and we all, like I said earlier, and I wake up and I pretend for that one day I'm in heaven, and I pretend I'm in a good place, and we all did that, and stopped looking back and forgave people, I think we'll be living heaven on earth. And I think that's the end goal.
I'm very curious because it was a very positive, authentic conversation, and there's no agenda here, genuinely.
No,
Like, we're just
100%.
speaking. So what's really curious to me is, as you know, you make more of these and whatnot. I'm curious to see what will be the most exciting is who's the person, like who's the type of person that naturally comes to this and responds to it, and like that community starts to build. That'd be pretty exciting.
No, it is. And actually, just the other day, I was at the gym and I met this individual. Long story short, we start talking, and he's in his early 40s. He's in great shape. He's a bodybuilder. And he said he weighed 300 pounds and he was size 40.
Damn.
And I said, so what changed? And he said, well, I was sick of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
And just like that, he decided to take action. And I think that's all it takes. Just making that, decision and saying, that's it. I had enough.
What a story.
Because his whole lifestyle changed. Now he's no longer hanging around with the same people, because those friends weren't really helping him out. They weren't inspiring him. It was him that made that decision and said, enough is enough. Like, I need to make a dramatic change, like a huge difference.
It's interesting. You could be like here, one moment, one realization, and maybe someone watching this sees
No,
one
100%.
thing,
And that's the whole point of
Yeah.
why I'm doing this. And it resonates with you as well because you add to this. And something about us that, even how we met, this whole thing came.
It's unreal, right?
Yeah. And again, it goes back to the decision you made and decision I made, what that decision aligned. And so now we're in each other's reality type of thing. The same works with opportunity. You just have to align yourself with opportunities and it'll show up.
Yeah.
It'll show up. I just know it'll show up.
And there's plenty of different opportunities, whether you lost a client or a girl or money. Those things are like in absolute abundance. They can always come as long as I think the core thing that now obviously you would totally agree with this, but if I tell them some people, they might be like, you're a crack, like what are you talking about? But the core thing all year and if I'm in a meditation, it always comes down to this is like the highest thought, which is in essence, if you have God, you have everything. Really, truly. Like, I think our desires come from God, and humans, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we all have similar desires, physiological, relationship, then you got like higher needs to give back and everything. And then we kind of correlate those thoughts to specific actions that we need to take. Well, I need to go on a run. I need to call 100 times. I need to do this.
Yeah.
And then we feel good or bad depending on if we do those things because we think those things are going to give us love, belonging, peace, everything. And God gave us those desires to have. So it's like the further we can go back in the chain and return to God, all these other things kind of just dissipate and it becomes simple. It's just
100%.
focus on everything else.
It's true. My experience has been, it's like, if I don't do X, Y, and Z, I'm not going to get a result.
Yeah.
So I need to make 100 phone calls. Yeah. But if you trust in God, you only need to make one phone call, and it's to Him.
Well said.
Think about
well
it.
said.
Right?
That's the strongest contracts, the only contact you need.
I don't know how you feel about this. I don't think God has our backs. He's leading us, meaning He's not behind us. He's in front of us.
Come, like the door's open.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, like the
Yeah,
door's always open, but we gotta make that
because
meet him halfway.
exactly, and it goes going back to what I was saying earlier. There's a version of you has gotten or reached that goal, whatever it is that you want. You just have to recognize it and follow that path. When it feels hard, it's the ego stepping in saying, "Oh, it feels hard." When I got to keep reminding myself, "No, it's not hard. I'm just feeling uncomfortable right now because I'm growing out of my shell." Right? I'm feeling a bit of stress, but I'm actually growing. Of course, you're gonna feel stress. It's like the shirt starts getting tight on you as your body grows.
It will feel a little more
Tight,
comfortable,
right?
but
Uncomfortable. And then so what you need to do is get rid of that and allow yourself to wear a new shirt.
that's almost like we were talking about self sabotage earlier, and it's like you start to feel this is uncomfortable. It's too much good. This is where don't be scared, don't be overly excited, and tell a bunch of fear based people
Yeah,
this is just relax. But okay, this is what's new now. Let's experience it, and that's where facing fears and being uncomfortable is good because you can grow out of your shell. Go from there.
100%. Yeah.
Let go, let God. Okay, in that book, this book Zen in the Art of Archery, short book. German philosopher, Western philosopher goes to Japan, learns like the Asian way. They talk about. I want to hear your perspective on this because it always stuck with
Mm.
me. It's from years. It's interesting. Like archery is like a spiritual practice there, and basically 99% of the way you do everything correctly. You offer your sacrifice, proper form, proper stance. You hold it, and the instructor kept trying to teach the Western guy because he wouldn't get that last 1%. You just keep stringing the bow, and the tension, it releases all by itself. So it's almost like you're not the one that has to
Mm.
let go that final process. You just keep doing your sacrifice, and then it just, you know what I mean? Doesn't that kind of make sense? Like almost like it's like glowing, and then I don't know if that's making sense, but I think there's something to that of just, even if I could say, like just meeting the person yesterday where he was talking about real estate developer, 44, felt like giving us some wisdom. Two things I took away. One, he was at our age, wasn't where he wanted to be. You're going to get there, and it's going to take a lot of work. Sometimes I get deterred from working hard when you're too fixated on immediate gratification,
Mm.
immediate results.
Mm.
You stop working. Oh, it's not working. But what if we knew for certain everything's going to work out? All we have to do is work hard. We'd work with joy, right?
No, 100%.
We'd work way
No,
happier, everything.
once you climb that mountain and you're on top, and then you're looking around, you're just gonna see that it's not the end because there's more valleys, more peaks to climb, right? So you're like, oh, okay, it feels great. I guess I have to go to the next cliff and then climb that one because it just keeps going. You learn along the way. You gain experience, knowledge, wisdom, and hopefully you pass that down to your kids, or just be a great role model. And we need a lot more these days. And just be open about and share about how you feel, but come from a loving place, not desperate, right?
Not needing anything, just
Yeah,
like on the same level.
it's my personal experience, and I'm sure at a certain level it's gonna resonate with other people. It's like don't focus too much on the how, but more on the why, right? The how will show up. It's like the path of where you want to go. Once you focus on the why, like why are you doing this? Because I love what I do. Okay, great. Focus on the why.
What about to the perspective of, let's say, why is a certain target that you want to hit? And I think sometimes if we're overly thinking like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have this, you're just more so attracting ways that you're not going to have it. But if you almost even let go of the deepest why and know that that's why you're doing it, but just trust, like, yeah, it's like I already have it. Like I know it's a matter of time. I feel like then you'll be more ready to see the opportunities that will
Yeah,
actually
always
present
always
there.
being in the assumption that you already had it or you already have it, I should say.
Yeah.
And don't worry about how it's going to show up.
That's beautiful.
It's like your body doesn't know the difference. And we talked about this earlier. If you're in the past, present, or in the future, it just knows how you feel. So if you're feeling and you're matched to that vibrational level of what it is that you're going after, and the assumption is that you already have it, your body's going to say, oh, great, I'm this, I'm healthy, for example. And you're just going to be in a state of well-being. Like, I'm healthy, I'm not stressed out, I feel great, and just continue on that.
Yeah, it's an excellent place to be in. Just off this combo, like the mode, I feel so clear. And sometimes, I don't know if you ever feel this, when you feel clear like this, what do you think is the best thing to do after? Is it to
Keep
going.
riding that wave.
Keep riding the wave?
Yeah, 100%. Because it's a great feeling, and again, you want to hold on to that feeling, and once you reach that level of excitement, you just keep going with that, and take it as far as you can take it until the
Lights go off.
lights go off. That's funny. All right, I guess that's the sign.
I guess that's it.